Hi, it's BBQ Brian from the House of Q, and I've got a really cool recipe. This one is my char crusted beef tri-tip sandwich. It feeds a crowd, and there's lots of steps. I'll show you every one of them. Let's get started. To get started on our char crusted beef tri-tip, it starts with the seasoning. A doctored rub right off the shelf. We'll customize the flavor and get it just right for our sandwich. The base for our rub is going to be the House of Q house rub. It's got some great flavor and it's great to start, and it's also easy to doctor. So in a bowl, we'll take the lid, we'll add about 2 to 3 tablespoons into the bowl. We've got 2 tri-tips today, so I'm going to double the recipe. I'm going to add in some black pepper. Beef likes that black pepper. And also to help with our char crust, we're going to add some brown sugar. The beef tri-tip is part of the sirloin part of the cow, and there's generally 2 sides to this triangular shaped cut of meat. There's the meatier side right here, which will trim up all this side, and the other side, not as much on this one. There's a little bit of a fat cap here, but on this tri-tip, there's a lot that's going on there. Taking a really sharp boning knife, we'll start trimming off the meat side of the tri-tip. Just slow, slight cuts as you pull away the fat from the meat. What I find often that's best is to start with a little piece, grab that with your fingers, get your knife underneath, continue pulling and holding onto this, and using your knife to pull that away. The tri-tips are all nicely trimmed up here. I've removed a lot of the fat cap and the silver skin, and it's important to expose this meat on all sides where I want to create a nice crust. We'll start on one end, sprinkle, and then smear around and make sure we pack on that seasoning all around all edges of the tri-tip. Today we're cooking on the Yoder Smoker's flat top charcoal grill. It's this great big device right here. It's awesome. But I want to show you how I'm going to set up the charcoal. So in this instance on the charcoal flat top, what we're doing is putting a hot fire to one side. This is about 2 chimneys volume of charcoal, lump charcoal. It's nice and hot, as you can see. We're going to put the rack on top, leave the other side indirect, no charcoal. We've got the rack in. We'll close the lid and make sure that that rack is nice and hot so we get a good searing on the tri-tip. So we've got a nice hot fire. Our grates are nice and hot. We're going to position our tri-tip directly over the fire. There's number 1. Here's the second piece. You can hear the sizzling already. We'll monitor this to get some nice crust on the outside. So as we're cooking this and searing the tri-tips, you look around right at the edge and you'll see some bubbles forming and even some of the crusting establish on the outside. You can slowly lift and see what's going on. There's some nice crust on that one. Oh, perfect, right there. Once you've established crust on both sides of the tri-tip, you're going to move them from this hot zone on the left-hand side over here on the right-hand side, your cooler spot. Close the lid and continue to monitor for doneness with your thermometer. To add some more flavor to our sandwich, what we're going to do is add some vegetables, starting off with a sweet onion, red bell pepper. I've chosen some orange bell peppers today as well. I'll show you how I'm going to prepare and cook these ones and put that as a layer of flavor on our sandwich. So to prepare the peppers, what I'm going to do is take a knife, cut them in half, and remove all the white part, the stem, and the seeds. For the onions, you want to keep them in a larger chunk so that you can handle them on the grill. If you make it too small or cut them into rings, I find sometimes they can fall apart on your grill and you can lose some of the onion. Keep the root in there, that'll help with that. To season these, we'll add on some olive oil and then some salt and pepper. Make sure they're nicely coated, and then we're ready for the grill. We'll open the flat top and put the vegetables skin side down for the peppers right over the charcoal. Once we've got all of our peppers and onions on the grill, we may as well check where our tri-tip is at. Of course, the only way you're going to know is with the digital thermometer. Just as we're finishing the vegetables, these are looking nice and soft. They've got some nice color and flavor on the outside. Oh, one runaway onion. Oh, perfect. We'll remove those from the grill. But while we're still in here, let's double check the tri-tip. We'll get our thermometer. About 128 degrees right there. That's perfect. On this one, we're in that same zone. It's time to remove the tri-tip as well and let those rest. To finish up our vegetables, I'm going to take these out of the bowl, cut them up into nice bite-sized pieces, and add some sauce to make it another layer of flavor on our sandwich. For me, on this type of vegetable and this type of sandwich, I like them kind of rustic, if you will. All the pieces are different sizes, even possibly different shapes, and that's okay. For me, I'm pretty lowbrow, like a simple sandwich, but it's got to have some great flavor. So just as I finish up cutting up the peppers, I'm going to put them in the bowl, back in the bowl right here. So the vegetables are in a bowl. I'm going to add in some of my Rockin' Red barbecue sauce. This is my tangy tomato barbecue sauce. A little bit of spice and flavor, and it'll be perfect to pull the peppers and the beef flavors together on my sandwich. One other layer of flavor that I want to do is a mayonnaise-based topping on there. So it's going to have, in a bowl, about a cup of mayonnaise, the real stuff. We're going to add in 2 or 3 tablespoons of the slow smoked gold mustard sauce, some black pepper, some garlic, granulated garlic, some onion, and here's the key one. Some granulated onion is horseradish sauce. Now, it all depends on how hot you want this. Check your horseradish. For me, this will be about 2, maybe 3 tablespoons. Mix this all together, and this will give us another layer of flavor on our sandwich. We've got all our components here for our sandwich, and today, instead of just individual small sandwiches, I've got everybody coming over, the family, the friends. So I'm gonna do is a big baguette. So to put the sandwich together, here's my loaf. I've cut it. Let's open that up. The first layer of flavor on this bread, I want to put some of that mayonnaise, mustard, and horseradish all over the bread, even on both sides, the top and the bottom. One of the things that I'm looking for on the tri-tip is which way the grain is going, the direction of the fibers in the tri-tip. In this instance, they're going to start here and run long ways all the way to this point over here. That means to me I'm going to turn it this way and cut across that grain. I'm going to slice really thinly the tri-tip into these nice thin slices and add that to my sandwich. That color on the inside is absolutely perfect, very tender. You can see the movement. That's going to be great. I've got enough meat sliced up here. Let's put it on the sandwich. I'm going to spread this out all across my sandwich. A few layers so that there's lots of meat in every bite. You might call this a man sandwich because there's going to be so much on here, but I know a lot of women that would like to have a nice bite of this one as well. Here's those vegetables, nicely grilled. They've got some great flavor. They'll add some sweetness and also some character and texture as we eat this sandwich. We've got our peppers on. Let's put the lid on top of the sandwich. Squeeze it all together a little bit. Take a bread knife and we'll cut this into individual portions so everybody can have a bite. Here's our final sandwich. It looks fantastic. I've cut it up so we can share it with our friends and family. I just can't wait to get a bite. There's the inside. That's fantastic. The horseradish and the mayonnaise pull together the sweetness of the vegetables. The beef is done perfect. It's very tender. This is a great sandwich. Do you guys want some? This was a fantastic recipe, and I hope that you make this for your friends and family and make a great big sandwich like this and share it. If you want to learn more about these cookers, go to yodersmokers.com, where on the blog, we're going to post this recipe. Thanks for watching. I'm BBQ Brian from the House of Q.